The views expressed on the Jerry Cahill CF podcast are that of Jerry Cahill and guests, and not necessarily those of the Boomer Esiason Foundation. Nothing on the Jerry Cahill CF podcast should be considered medical advice. Such advice can only be given by a physician who is experienced with cystic fibrosis. The Boomer Esiason Foundation, Jerry Cahill and guests cannot be held responsible for any damage which may result from using the information on this podcast without the permission of your medical doctor. You're watching Jerry Cahill's CF podcast presented by the Boomer Esiason Foundation and jerrycahill.com.
Welcome to Jerry Cahill's Living, Breathing, Succeeding podcast. This episode, Life with CF Post-Double Lung Transplant, was made possible through an unrestricted educational grant from Novartis to the Boomer Esiason Foundation. Is anybody home?
Hello there.
Today we will meet Denise Horgan, 41 years old, from County Kerry, Ireland, who came to New York at age 12. Denise loves yoga, the beach, and most of all loves being with her family and friends. Sorry I'm a little late.
No.
I was working on your questions a little more.
Oh no!
So I was like, yeah, we had a long day yesterday, so. All right, so here we go. Let's get started.
Hi, my name is Denise Horgan. I'm 41 years old with cystic fibrosis, post-double lung transplant 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago. I was talking to my friend Chris, and he was telling me, oh my God, he goes, I have this feeling. He was like, you're going to get your call on New Year's Eve. And I was like, oh God, Chris, whatever. So New Year's Eve came, it was 9 p.m. and my phone rang, and I picked it up, and they were like, it's, the lung procurement. And they were like, we have lungs. And I was like, what? So they were like, I was like, is it just me, or is it, the people, because they always have two other people in the backup. So like, you're the only one. And I was like, oh my God, I was freaking out. And I was just so, I couldn't even explain how excited I was. But then, of course, I also realized somebody had to, pass away in order for me to live. So that was it was a bittersweet moment. It was, it was hard. So then I went into surgery. I think it was about 4 a.m. And when they opened me up, they couldn't believe how sick I was. It was like cement. They basically had to scrape out, my lungs. They were so infected. They had to call in a second set of doctors to help because it was just so intense. There was a point where my sister came into the ICU one day. She came down from New York to visit me, and I didn't know she was coming. And I was sitting on the chair, and I was hooked up to every machine possible and, unable to walk and stuff. And I was just staring into space. I hadn't been, my hair was greasy. Hadn't been, washed. I don't even know. And she said to me in my ear, Denise, she was like, don't give up. Don't give up. And she knew right there, that I was in a bad place. So I just kind of gave up my, just my faith in God and everything. It was just, I didn't understand, how somebody could suffer so much and go through so much. But, that saying, God only gives you what you can handle. And I had to rethink, put that in my head and just get a hold of myself and just get strong and mentally and physically, because I knew if I didn't, I wasn't going to get out of there. It was a constant battle every day.
But you got through it.
I did. I got a lot of help from, my family and my friends and even the professionals at Duke, from the doctors to the nurses to the therapists to everybody. They were amazing. And they really got me through a tough time, and I'm still friends with them today. Post-transplant, my support system has pretty much remained the same. I have 7 amazing nieces and nephews, and they keep me on my toes, and I have 3 sisters who are always there for me, and my parents are, the best. So, I talk to them every day. I guess I kind of remain disciplined depending on how I feel, really. There's some days that I feel very, fatigued and exhausted and that I can't really go out and go to the gym, so I do my own workout here. I have a treadmill on my weights and things like that. Do my squats, whatever I need to do. After I work out, I feel very motivated and good about myself, and that I, put that energy in and I gave it all that I had. I just feel very empowered, and positive. I think I just want people to know that, even though we've had a transplant, it is still a very, very tough process. Even though I have new lungs, I'm still dealing with all the other issues. I still have another lung disease. I'm still dealing with, just the mental, effects of just transplant and just dealing with life in general. Friends, of course they're going to change because, they're all married now and have kids and they're living in different places and, I don't get to see them like I used to before.
Well, it must be kind of lonely.
It is lonely. I never thought that being 41, that, I'd be here, no kids, no significant other. It's really hard to be, because, all my friends have married and moved on, and there's nobody living close to me anymore because they all have families, and they're busy doing their own thing, Before all this took place, my passion in life was in the health field. Obviously, I can't do that anymore because I'm so immunosuppressed and I have so many other medical issues going on that, I can't go back to that. But I'm still trying to find myself. Obviously, it does take over sometimes, but you gotta get a handle on it and talk about it and, move forward. And you can't be walking around with this cloud over your head, You just gotta keep going, and that's what I want everybody to know, that you're gonna have good days and bad days, but, just surround yourself with good people and you will get through it. In New York alone, there's about 10,000 people waiting for a transplant, and there's only 27% registered as organ donors, and I think people don't realize it until it hits their own doorstep. It's like, oh, that's never going to happen to me. But you know what? It's going to happen to somebody next door to you or a friend or somebody down the road. It's just, it's a life-saving gift, and it's very important. If I did not receive that transplant, I would not be here today. And it's just a life-saving, it's just miraculous. It's a miraculous gift. And I just thank my donor and his or her family every day.